Oh man, we just finished one heck of a journey. We went all the way around to the south tip of this island, and then we spent the night, had a really enjoyable time there at the beach and Lanai exploring, and then we headed up the other side of the island and then cut across back right through the mountains heading back here, and which that was a lot of twisting and turning and up and down, but man, I enjoyed it. Such beautiful scenery. And I tell you what else I love about this country. We're walking down this beach, Melinda and I, and we're far away from any resort or anything, and we're just out exploring in the water, and this Filipino man comes down from a house and asks me where I'm from. So I tell him, well, we live here in Tigbawan, but I'm from Dallas, Texas. So he asked, so your wife's from Tigbawan? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he proceeds talking to my wife and asking what barangay we're in, which is like, a district. And she tells him Nomakan, and I hear him say Barack, talking about the taxi driver Barack, which is a friend of ours and our neighbor, and we're close with that family. And it's just so funny. Turns out him and Barack are good friends, and he is the godfather to Barack's daughter, which his daughter happens to be the girlfriend to Melinda's brother. Small world. What a small little world. I mean, we've went through so many towns, so many villages, so far away from where we live, and then what do we find? A friend of a friend. So now he's kind of like, he's your new friend. He invited us back anytime, so maybe he's going to pop up and see us here. He was really nice. His name was Warren. And so Warren had this nice plants there along by the seashore. It's kind of like trees, and I liked them anyway. And he says Pandan, which is actually an area there in Antique, and I guess that's also called Pandan, and this plant's called Pandan. And I wanted it. Really helps out along the beach, and grabs roots in really strong, kind of like mangroves do. And right now, if I show it to you, it just looks like maybe a pot plant, but this actually grows up big to be like a tree. Let me show you. So I got them here and stuck them in some water, and yes, they are thorny. But I'll try to find some footage maybe online and share it to you and caption it over here on one side of what these look like, matured, grow tall. All this vegetation will end up tall away from you without thorns, and the bark turns out really smooth, slick, shiny. But he gave me these. I went walking back with them. Maybe some of the locals think that we just ripped them up or something, but we didn't. And I saw them faces though. I saw them faces like, look at that foreigner just taking those plants. But no, these were gave to us by a friend of a friend that we did not even know was there. Pretty cool. Maybe next time we go to that area, we'll just go to Warren's house. That sounds like an idea. That's the Filipino way. So got this 1-ton Dodge diesel dually pulling in here, carrying this heavy load. Heavy duty rig right here, bringing in another load. How many you have now?
300.
Yeah, you'll bring the rest tomorrow afternoon?
Tomorrow after or Wednesday morning as early as 7.
Okay.
Okay. But this 300 we are lacking 4 pieces.
Okay.
And the rest, the broken hollow blocks I will change it.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
okay.
No problem. No problem. Meanwhile, as much as I curse this hollow block, as much as I curse it, I purchased some. Does that confuse you? Well, it's not really for me. It's for Melinda's brother. For his project he's got going on of trying to retain that shore along down through there. So he'll dig down, pour a footing, stack these, put steel in it, fill it with concrete, and then he's gonna plaster it. I'm telling you, that's might be what he's doing, but I'm telling you, it's just as easy to set some forms and pour the concrete, but each to his own. So here at Las Conchas del Mar, we try to be eco-friendly, and we try to use only the most natural organic fertilizers we can. So I had told you all that you would probably see this tank with the top portion finished poured by the time I made another video of it. Well, I stopped them. We wanted to go out of town and enjoy a little vacation time, which I'm sure some of you seen the videos, and I just did not want them working on it without me here. I just did not, and I knew these inlets and outlets were super important, and I didn't want no coming back and chiseling a hole through the concrete later, and I'm paying a lot of labor to sit there and chisel and crack cement that I just poured. I put fractures in it and kind of shooting yourself in your own foot. So I stopped them, and this afternoon, after they slip these 2 pieces of pipe in, we will continue to pour this tank. I think they were really shocked how easy it was to move this up every time. This bamboo is just sitting there. It's notched on each end. Maybe you can see right over there, just notched. When we're done, you just knock it out. They were gonna nail it. I told them no need for nails. Don't put a nail. These long ones are just resting on the middle brace. As you see, I left the wood back here from the corner. It doesn't go all the way because that way you can knock this one out. If that wood went all the way up here and met this lumber, but then you wouldn't be able to knock it out to get it loose. You'd want to swing one end around and get it loose. So I try to tell them as thin as this, I mean as thick as this 3/4 inches and this short distance, and that we're only doing small pours. That form can handle it, and it has. So before we pour the last section on top of the septic tank, we need to know the exact level that our drain pipe coming out going to the storm sewer has to be, and the grade that we can shoot that pipe. So we need to locate it down in here. So I want to show another reason that you have to watch everything. So I left just a bit. They was pouring up another step right here, and took her break, and I looked, and the steel was all to the outside of the form, touching the outside form. That steel needs to be in the center. It needs a certain amount of concrete around it to lock it in, to seal it, and to keep it from deteriorating like we seen in that hollow block wall over here behind me. And I had to get these wood blocks and get in there and wedge it over, and it's left some voids in there that I'm gonna have to pack in here real quick before it sets much more. But that's another thing you want. You want that steel centered in that. It has to be centered. I don't know if you can see, but they had it leaned all the way back, and there wasn't even a 1/2 inch of material to the outside. Now as you see, this septic tank protrudes above ground level right now, right? And as I've said many times in these videos already, you must understand this lot will still be backfilled. So the soil will be trucked in here, and it'll be filled up on this tank here pretty good ways. Just didn't want a whole bunch of loose soil in here until we actually get built around the house. There's going to be a lot of digging out there. I'm going to have extra soil left from that. And once the house is finished with all the foundation and coming up and the work's done, then I'll come in here and get it backfilled to grade. So even where the inlet pipe's going to go in down here, that'll be in the ground. And then I'm leaving a pretty good air gap in the top up here on this tank. It's going to allow me for a little bit of backfilling. I'm actually, the lid that's going to get poured on top of this, I'm actually building a restroom a CR as they call it, right on top of the septic tank. It'll have, like I say, a solid concrete poured lid anyway. I was thinking, why waste that lid? Why have just that big piece of concrete back here in my backyard that maybe just looks ugly? And as I've already explained in the video, I'm going to put a restroom right on top of it. The toilet will drop straight down into the tank. I'll still have a room to put a P-trap in to keep the odors down for the shower, and utilize this space right here. So that's what's going to happen with that, and that way our guests outside will have a place to use the restroom and shower off if they've been out here at the beach swimming or something. So we've been out here doing a little bit of math. I'm needing to know exactly where the input's going to be in my septic tank. I need to know exactly where the output's going to be in my septic tank, and I need to make sure that it has enough fall to go into the storm sewer in the subdivision. So lo and behold, the measurements from my furthest point, because that's what I want to go with, my furthest point of where plumbing is going to meet coming down from the kitchen underneath this ground level slab, that would be my farthest point that fall is going to have to begin. You don't want to begin like down here at the end of the house here closest to the tank and measure your fall. You've got to have fall under the slab as well. So you want to start from your furthest point over of where you're going to have sewage drain underneath your slab. So we started there. We pulled this line. There's a nylon line here. You may not be able to see it on camera. We pulled this line super tight. We set up to shoot a level on it. We did the measurement on our drop. We got our drop in. This other way over here, going out from the tank to the street, the same thing. We measured, we got our drop going in down by the street to the storm drain. So we got it all figured out. Of course, I'm putting 4-inch pipe in. Now here in the Philippines, you're going to find a lot of different type of pipe that's not quite what you might see back in your home country. Let me get a piece of this here. This pipe that I got, as you see, this has got a thick wall. This is their higher class pipe. I think they call it the 1000, the S1000 4-inch pipe. I don't remember the number to the other one because I don't ever buy it, but they have one that is very, very thin wall. We kind of have that in the US too. It's used sometimes for landscaping and all. It's just a water drain pipe. I did not want that. I've seen that stuff break, deteriorate so easy. What if somebody's digging with a shovel, barely hit that mess? It just, don't ever buy that. Please, if you're gonna build here, spend a little bit of extra money and get the good thick drain pipe. And another thing I suggest, don't leave it exposed anywhere. I don't care if they say it's UV resistant or not, it's not. The sun will deteriorate it, it will become brittle, it'll crack, and you're going to be doing more work down the line. Now, I'm probably going to have somebody sooner or later say, why did you put the tank way back here on your property when the street's all the way up there? And I'm going to tell you why. I've had some neighbors here down the street. They put their tank, which they didn't have as much of a choice as I do because my lot is very big and their lots are very tiny. Their tank is right up here at the front, right at the street, and of course it just dumps right in. Yeah, that's easier for them. It would have been easier for me too, but here is the big secret. I have a well right here, and this is sandy soil. There's a layer of sand underneath there. That means water creeps through it very easily. I did not want a septic tank right here and a well right here. Get it? So there's the the storm drain now, and it'll head on through. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. They're gonna be back and be putting those inlet and outlet pipes in through so we can begin pouring that last bit of the concrete. And it looks like it could come a rain. It already had one little shower earlier, but it kind of quick passed. But you never know when another one may pop right up on you. Y'all give your feedback. I don't mind at all. I do not mind at all. Throw your feedback, but just be nice when you do it. That's one thing. Be nice, because the standard you may have in your place may be a standard different in another place. And not saying either one of them's right or wrong, but just be kind to each other in your comments. I really enjoy my subscribers. I've only had one subscriber that was insulting, and I don't even know if he was a subscriber, but he was commenting, and he wrote me back-to-back comments insulting and telling me that I was wrong on some advice I gave. It made me kind of question myself, so I'm like, went researching and checking out, because I've been to a lawyer on all of this here, you know, and a very well respected lawyer on top of that, and followed up even and researched in the past if the lawyer was leading me right. And so I found that this person telling me I'm wrong is the person that's wrong, you know. And I didn't want to argue about it. I'm not going to get into an online argument in my comment section. So the best thing I found that I could do with this person that was coming off very rude was to hide their comments. Just block it. You know, there's no time in this world for that. I don't mind being corrected, but to somebody to be trying to incorrectly correct me and cause confusion and a mess, and I don't even mind that. I don't like the rudeness. I just don't. I don't like the rudeness, and my channel's not for the rudeness. We can always agree to disagree. We can correct each other. That's wonderful, but we can be adults about it, right? We can be adults about it. So another funny thing I have is that talking about this is me and Melinda laugh because we have one subscriber out there, or one person, again, they may not be a subscriber, they're maybe just a viewer, that as soon as I post a video, I get a thumbs down. And if you think you're affecting us, you're not. In fact, all you're doing is making us laugh. I mean, we are actually laughing. Like, you really think that's affecting us? Even a thumbs down in YouTube, even a thumbs down helps you out there. They could give me 1,000 thumbs down and it still pushes my video out there further. So go ahead, up, down, either way. Appreciate the support.